All right, we're live. We're playing bar chords. Bar chord. Another bar chord. Another bar chord. And yet another bar chord. But it's all the same shape. So today, we're talking about why bar chords are so cool. Because bar chords are pretty cool. I'm your bar chord expert, Sean Daniel at Guitar Control. It's good to see everybody here. Welcome to the party, the bar chord party, which is the coolest party ever. Like, you know, like in high school, there were like the cool kids who had the cool parties. They were all bar chords. Bar chords are like the cool chords of the party of guitar. So today we're going to talk about why bar chords are so cool. YouTube's best teacher, Mr. Sean Daniel. Thank you. I didn't just say that. That was a comment that said that. Thank you. Welcome to the party, my man. Eye in mind. Just in time, we're talking about bar chords, right? Bar chords also the bane of the existence for a lot of people. That's right. We're gonna get started. Let's talk about why people hate bar chords so much. Because they can be hard to play when you first start out. There's no way around it. The act of taking is bad enough. You have to like manipulate these 6 strings in ways that, you know, make musical sense. And getting your fingers to work together in any kind of way can be daunting at first. And then it's like, now you seriously want me to try to hold down multiple strings with one finger? I can barely do one at a time. Well, yes, because once you really get bar chords down, your whole world is going to change. And I'm talking about your personal life, your professional life. Everything will change once the bar chords have been instilled into your playing. And first and foremost, because really any song is up for grabs. If you can just master this one bar chord, that shape right there, you can play pretty much any song or a version of any song, okay? So real quick, if you don't know what this bar chord is, this magical bar chord is, let's talk about it. Once I mastered bar chords, I could finally satisfy my wife, Cheddar Kung Pao says. Just another example. I didn't say that. I'm not going to comment on that, but just another example of how bar chords are so cool. All right? So, we'll get to that. Which is harder, the 6th string or the 5th string bar chords? I think obviously, probably holding down all 6 strings is difficult. Let's just get right to it. Take the 5th fret. We're gonna make an A major bar chord. Power that index finger across all 6 strings. Now, if you look where my thumb is, it is directly behind my pointer finger, pinching, helping, assisting in that bar chord. Ring finger's going 7A. Pinky's going 7D, middle finger is going 6G, so I'm going 5, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5. Beautiful, right? Barring with the ring can be tough, yeah. So this is it. We're gonna get to all sorts of bar chords because that's what thoroughness is something. I don't even know if thoroughness is a word, but thoroughness is a principle of mine, even though it may not be a word in words in a dictionary. But thoroughness is what we're going for here. Right here, this shape. I'm going to go on a limb here and say this is the most important shape in all of guitar playing. I think you'll all agree with me, right? Because once you can play this, you can move this around. You learn one shape, and you root it on anything on the E string, and you get 12 different major chords. This would be A major, A sharp major, B flat major, same difference, B major, C major, right? So it really just takes your learning to a whole new level because you learn one shape, and you learn there's 12 different notes. You put that shape on a note, you've got 12 different chords you learn with one shape. Whereas when you're first starting out, you know, you have like a G major shape, then you have a C and a D and an A minor. You have to learn a different shape for each chord. You learn one shape, multiple chords. Now if you do the same thing, but you move everything down a string, now we've got the minor bar chord, which anytime you root on the A string, you get a minor chord out of this. This is D, the 5th fret on the A string is D, that's a D minor, D sharp minor, E minor, so on and so forth. Question time with Sean Daniel. Answer when you can. 3, 2, 1. Kavita or LaCroix? You know what? Does this answer your question, my man? Kavita, all the way. Yes, sir. Not even set up. But, San Pellegrino? You know, I don't think I'm classy enough yet to go San Pellegrino. That's like the Master Series. That's the bar chord of drinks, is San Pellegrino. I don't even know if I'm saying that. Setup is crucial. Setup is crucial for bar chords. What a great segue. Sometimes it can be ridiculously hard to play bar chords, whether you're on an acoustic or electric guitar, and that's all because of the action of your guitar, right? I picked this Martin because this is the easiest action I have of any guitar, since I'm gonna be here for like 45 minutes, I thought, why not? Golfing with friends or basketball with friends? Basketball, for sure. Side comment. So the action is how far your strings sit off of the fretboard. And if you can see here, that's like super, it's like right there. Really easy action. So you don't really have to push that hard to get that. So if you're really cranking and you're like just hurting your hand trying to play these bar chords, maybe get lighter gauge strings on your guitar. Maybe get a setup on your guitar to kind of bring that down so it can be easier to play. The downside to that might be that it could be a little buzzier, right? Like if the setup, if the action's too easy, you might want to get it. You gotta find the right balance for you. All right. So we just got this one shape to make 2 bar chords. Okay. Now the great thing is with just that one shape, you can play, I've talked about this before, the song Hotel California, just this one shape. Like if you start here on the 2nd fret of the A string, up a string to F sharp major, A major, E major, G major, D, that's technically minor, F. That's pretty much the whole song just with that one shape moving all over the place. Had to have my tailor's neck replaced and it didn't play the same, so I mounted up and started adjusting my own truss rod. Yeah. Good job, man. So adjusting your truss rod is something that you can do yourself to kind of help out with the action of it. Cubs or Bears? This guy knows I'm from Chicago. Man, that's tough. I mean, Cubs over White Sox for sure, but I guess I'm probably more of a football fan, so Bears. And Bears sounds like bars, and bar chords what we're talking about mostly today. So again, we have just this is one example of a bar chord that we can do. So, in and of itself is like, well, that's not very cool, right? So, this is just the first of many tricks that we can start employing using this magnificent shaped bar chord, okay? So, if we keep this barred, we're essentially doing the same thing if you had like a capo on the 5th fret, right? So you can play a bunch of different chords within this. So let's go through all these different shapes that we've learned with this, okay? So if we take that D minor, which is the first one we did, we had A major down a string. Now if you look right here, this right here is like an A minor chord underneath this bar. So now we got D minor. Now if you just take your pinky and swing it to the A string, 8th fret, we're making what's like a C major shape under this bar, giving us a different major chord rooted on the A string. Okay, this is an F. This is like an F major. So, guitar teacher or singer-songwriter? Hey, why choose one? We'll get to more questions at the end. Q&A session will be after we go through a few bar chord shapes. So this is a C-shaped bar chord rooted on the F on the A string, right? So there's one position. We can play like a C, all the chords of, we're thinking of the chords of C major. Even though this isn't a C, this is an F. We could go here to here, which is like a D minor shape, just under this bar chord, right? We could play, so that's C major, E minor, D, here'd be a minor chord, which is just like that A minor with that open. All right, so we've got the C major shape under the bar, the D minor shape under the bar, E minor. We could do F major just by grabbing that right here. I'm playing an F major 7, but just like an F major shape here. Same thing with like a G shape here. Under a bar would look like this, right? Or what I like to do actually, and this is something everybody should learn too, if still holding down 6 strings is a little harder to do, Ian Stitcher, Justin Mitchell, of course, obviously. So let's do a G shape under this bar chord. If you just take your pinky and put it on the 8th fret and use your pointer finger to bar the 5th fret, this is like a G major bar chord, again, G being here. We're thinking of it as a shape underneath that same bar that we've done everything here, right? Where your root note is whatever note your pinky's on. So this is the 8th fret of the E string, which is a C. So here's a C major chord that's easier than actually holding down all 6 strings and playing like a legit G major. Like if you're some kind of classical person who does shapes like this, come on. Wait, this isn't like a practical shape doing a G major bar chord under this, but you can do it to impress your friends. I'm all about these high-voiced chords, which are just examples of great bar chords that you can be used. Especially these higher voice chords are really good in like funk music. You can do a lot of different things just by taking higher voice to kind of get some of the low end out of the chord voicing. So it's really good to know some of these things, how to kind of navigate underneath a bar chord to make different chord voicings, because you can just start getting more efficient with your playing, and it won't sound like everybody else. Because if you're always just playing the same open chords, even if you're using a capo, you can kind of add a little bit of variety to your playing just by using that chord. Do you find this ever worth doing bar chords past the 12th fret? They start getting awkward and not sounding good. So, you know, full chord, like if we did like a F major chord, like down here, like, yeah, that's kind of, you know, maybe a little bit too high. I mean, it still sounds fine. I would say, like, if the only time I would ever use bar chords past the 12th fret would be kind of like in a funk setting. Like if I wanted to play a G major chord instead of playing a G major chord here, or even here, you could play like, and you know, technically I would say this is like a G major bar chord still, even though it's not like a full-on bar chord like that. Yeah, now this has a cutaway, right? So it makes it easier to access the higher frets. Okay, so if I want to do like a G major, or a G major 7, or even kind of like a suspended, it's not so bad with a cutaway. Now, if you didn't have a cutaway, then it's like really difficult because you got to like do this kind of little song and dance right here, which is ridiculous. So, you know, I generally don't use a lot of bar chords above the 12th fret, but that's only because it's more of like an accessibility thing than it is really. See, here we go. Here's the first guy. Excuse me, it's bar, B-A-R-R-E. In the title, I spelled it B-A-R because it's kind of one of my swords to fall on. B-A-R-R-E, I think is French. Thank you very much for the backup, Chowder Kung Pao. This is streaming from America. We spell things incorrectly in America, our own way, doing it. B-A-R, a bar chord, because this is a real blue-collar channel here. It does say so in the description. But thanks for chiming in, man. Yeah, so anyways, another way we can learn bar chords and make them, you know, kind of showcase the coolness of it is by learning a scale underneath it. Cage match, me or my brother. I think my brother would probably destroy me in a cage match, honestly. I feel like, you know, he like lifts and stuff, whatever. You know, I don't need to lift because I have all the strength I need because I can play a bar chord. That's what's up, all right? Now, the next thing you can do is think of maybe the notes in a scale underneath a bar, okay? So, you know, like it's made of like modes and scales and stuff like that, and just kind of like we talked about by playing chords that you might be more familiar with when you're getting into bar chords, like better hair polish. Come on, this is the best here on the internet. Am I right? But if you're talking about scales, right? Like and again, a scale is just a group of notes sound good together. C major scale is just C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now, if we play that in O position, it would be E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Those are all the notes. You kind of think of that if we start with an E, a low E, we could think of that as E's mode in the key of C. Now we can do that same thing if you just learn that one thing, right? So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. I'd be like open 1, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, 3. We do that same thing underneath a bar chord. Like if you take the 5th fret, again we're barring it. Now instead of open 1, 3, open 2, 3, open 2, 3. This is kind of like a modal shape, we can see it as. We can see these as different notes to add and to experiment with beneath this bar chord to kind of start making different shapes, right? So again, we have that A major chord that we started with. Now if you pop your middle finger off, now it's A minor, an A minor bar chord, right? And this can be tricky because getting the G string to ring out here can be kind of tough because a lot of times that will sit like right in one of the grooves of your finger, right? Are you a 3-note per string guy or caged? You know, honestly, I'm not really either of those personally. Now caged, if you don't know what caged is, that's kind of a little bit really essentially what we talked about before, where we have the C, A, G, E, and D chord shapes in different things beneath the bar, kind of like that C, right? Play a C major like this, etc., etc. 3-note per string guy. What that means is if you play those scales like I just did here, like that mode right there. If we played it like if you played A major, like A, B, C sharp, D, E, you can play it like this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, I really more think of major scale as being middle finger first. Not that sometimes I don't do that, and then minor scale being index like this, right? But back to kind of what we were talking about, this minor chord, right? So if that G string isn't ringing out, it's kind of important that that G string rings out, because that G string is the only thing that differentiates A major from A minor. If you can't hear it, you're just getting kind of like an A power chord, which may be fine. That could be what you're going for. That's cool. But the major or minorness is really counting on you with that G string. So what you might want to do if you're going minor here is take your middle finger and kind of double down on this and kind of add to it until you can really get that minor sound. Right? So it's just a way that your fingers can help each other out, because your fingers are all friends, hopefully. So, you know, friends help each other out in times of need, and that's what they're there for. So now we've got this A minor chord, bar chord, and now let's play like the notes in E Phrygian. Okay. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate all the comments I'm getting. Some of these I probably shouldn't be reading out loud on Guitar Control's channel. If it were my channel, it could be a different story, but hey, appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys, right? I'm not gonna ban you. Come on, man. Heck no. We're all just having a good time talking about bar chords, the coolest chords there are. So if we think of this in E minor's position as that E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And we got that here. How do you fret with your pointer a little tip for someone starting out? Okay. That's actually a great question. So let's talk about, someone just asked how you fret with your pointer finger, like how you fret with it, okay? So if I like really exaggerate and I kind of like jam into it, you might be able to see like the ridges on my fingers, right? It's more a little bit on the side than it is straight up and down, just like that. Thanks so much for watching, man. Bucks fan 34, is that the Milwaukee Bucks? You Antetokounmpo guy? Or we're talking about like Tampa Bay Bucks? Yeah, Tiger. That is Tiger, right? So, yeah, really, I don't play it straight on like this. It's a little bit angled. So if you, like, put your finger straight over the fret, and then you have, like, everything, like, in line, you might want to drag your elbow in a little bit, and that'll rotate, because the side of your finger doesn't have ridges, whereas the joint of your finger right here, sometimes the string can sit in there, depending on how long your finger is, the nut width of your guitar, and sometimes it can be really hard to power through that. So a little bit of rotation can really kind of like solidify the edge of your pointer finger when you're doing something like that, which is really important for maybe something like that. So what I just did there is I played an A minor chord, and then I played the notes of what I'm thinking of in the key of C major starting on an E. So again, if you really want to get into the music theory of it, that could be like the third mode, which is Phrygian, okay? And the Phrygian mode, A Phrygian, would be 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8. Okay, just like that. Now, I think an interesting thing to do is to experiment with these notes inside a Phrygian kind of run and make them chords. The first thing we can do is take that minor second, your middle finger going from the 5th fret to the 6th fret, just like that, right? We can kind of replace the root note with this. And it creates a very dark sound by adding that flat second right there, which is still technically a bar chord. Now we can do the exact same thing, because, let's see, I find it hard to get a bar chord when strumming to sound smooth. Any tips? Yeah, okay, we're gonna get to that in 1 second. I wanna kind of just finish the example I was talking about with this minor second thing. In a scale, in anything, whatever's going on in the low E string can also be going on in the high E string, right? They're both E strings. The guitar doesn't really care, okay? So, yes, I did. We went to modes, right? So a minor second. If this is on the 6th fret, I could easily move this down here to kind of create like a minor second on top here, right? Yep, this is the Phrygian mode. So we're just taking one example of what I think is the easy mode. It's really just the minor scale, right? The minor scale on A would be 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, A minor. If we want to make it crazy, if we're just getting like out of control in a cool way because they're bar chords are cool, and you love bar chords, we just take that second note and we flatten it. So 5, 6, 8. We do the same thing on the top, right? Now, anything you can do. I'm just adding notes to this bar chord from here. Like maybe I want to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that 6th note, and maybe kind of sharpen something like that, right? And then you kind of add stuff on the top end too. And again, this is all just underneath a bar chord, which I'm thinking of notes from up here, right? Now, someone asked if I had any tips for if you're just getting started playing a bar chord, or change the octave to flat 9 to make it sound Phrygian. Yeah, sure, absolutely. You can definitely take the octave of A, right? And then kind of grab that minor second there. This is probably a really good example of just the sound of Phrygian just by taking that second note and flattening it in different spots. Someone asked if I have any tips for smoothly strumming when you're playing bar chords, because generally, again, like I said, when you first start out, it's hard. There's really no way around it. It's hard. You're probably going to suck at it at first. The action of your guitar is something to definitely think about. The gauge of your strings is something to think about. Acoustic or electric, maybe play an electric guitar because they're a little bit easier on electric. But aside from that, it's really not waiting for your left hand to do something. Like if you're maybe playing something where it's like 2 bar chords like D major, or let's do something like E flat major, D sharp major to B flat major, right? So we have like 2 different kind of bar chords, and maybe going from here to here is like slow for you, and it doesn't sound good at first, and it's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then back. Don't wait. The worst thing you can do is have your right hand wait for what your left hand is doing, your fretting hand is doing, right? So what I mean by that is just play it at whatever tempo you need to, where your left hand can catch up, right? So effectively, your strumming hand or your picking hand is setting a deadline for your fretting hand to meet. So if it takes you this long, 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, or whatever it is, to make that shape, that's your tempo, even if it's painfully slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then eventually you can start speeding it up. Using a metronome helps because you have a solid number that you're going with. If you find the double barring a B major easier is worth working on instead of doing, oh, sorry, I missed that. Instead of using all 3 fingers instead of barring with your ring finger. Okay, so great question. Let's talk about this B major. B major is a chord that a lot of people have a hard time with. Sometimes you'll see people play a B major bar chord like this, like the 2nd fret on the A string, the 4th fret on the D string with the middle finger, the 4th fret on the G string with the ring finger, and the 4th fret on the B string with their pinky, right? So this guy right here, I personally never really liked that. I think that created like a lot of tension in my hand every time I did that, so I just kind of gridded through and I learned how to play either with my pinky or my ring finger, okay? Now, that doesn't mean it's the right way or the wrong way to do it. Everybody's hands are different sizes, everybody's fingers are different lengths. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So, this right here is a perfectly fine way to play any kind of major bar chord rooted on the A string, right? You can play an an E, 7th fret on the A string, you play it just like this. Now technically, this right here isn't a bar chord because I'm not barring it unless I get my pointer finger down on the high E string too. And then it's like this. Again, now, there's nothing technically wrong with this. For me, it's just too much tension. Like, I think someone agreed there. But it's not a bad thing. I've seen a lot of really good players play it like that, and it's totally fine. Again, just for me, I think you're a little more agile when you do like what a lot of people call a double bar chord, because again, if you bar a major chord on the A string, so let's take this 7th fret as an example. If I bar the whole 7th fret with my pointer finger, and I bar part of the 9th fret, the D, G, and B strings, with my ring finger, I can get an E major chord, which some people will, like I said, just play like this. Now the trick here is to still get the high E string to ring out, because if you kind of look, it's hard to really say, but like if you see my ring finger, there's like a little spot here where that high E string can kind of like slip under instead of kind of muting. Again, that does take a little bit of practice to kind of get that spacing down first. But if you just keep doing it that way, eventually like it'll just happen one day. And you'll be playing, and you'll be like, whatever. I'm just kind of playing. You'll be like, what's that? What is that sound? That's the sound of the high E string ringing out beneath your ring finger in a double bar chord. Congratulations, you've just passed a very important guitar test. And now you're flying. Now there's really no stopping you, right? So let's talk about maybe some more chords that we can make with that bar chord. And again, another reason that I kind of like doing this, especially in a double bar chord way, is because it brings a lot of access to maybe different notes that we can add to it. Like somebody asked about like a 3-note per string type deal, okay? What that is really referring to is scales. And when we inflect chords with notes from a scale, it can sound really cool. Like we could take like a major chord. I'm just kind of adding notes from this scale, right? So I'm going to target one note from the A major scale. And again, that would be just like this guy right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9th fret in A, this is a B. This is going to be the 9th fret on the D string, okay? So I've got this regular bar chord, and I want to get that guy into the party somehow. So it can be a little bit of a stretch, but your pinky can kind of go there. And now this is creating like an A9, like I'm like adding the 9th note in here. Same deal I can do here. This is just a B note that I'm adding to an A chord, A major add 9. I can get a B on the high E string, just like that. Now, here's the thing that you have to be, I guess, wary of when you're talking about the name of this chord, is I'm not just adding a B when I do this, because if my bar is still intact, I'm also changing the octave to the 5th fret on the D string, right? Which would be in the key of A, that would be like a flat 7, like a dominant 7 chord. So here's A major, A dominant 7. So if I swing my pinky from the D string to the E string, I'm not just adding a B, I'm also actually adding a G. So by doing one move, I'm adding 2 notes. So that would make like an A dominant 9 chord instead of like an A major 9 or something like that. Again, that's kind of a little more, music theory-wise instead of just bar chords, but it's worth mentioning that when you kind of switch around notes like that, you do that same thing. So that's the difference between adding this B, making it an A9, and adding this B. Because right here, I just took an A note and I turned it into a B. So I have like an A add 9, something like that, right? Checking out the set list to your favorite band. I already did the QA yet. QA starts in 3 minutes. All right, and we're just going to talk a little bit about more bar chords. Again, I think I would be remiss if I didn't mention minor 7 chords. We didn't really have that. How many videos have you already shot but still need to edit, release, I say 10 or 12? I'll answer that in 3 minutes when the QA starts. You might have to ask it again. But minor 7 chords, okay? We just talked a little bit about dominant 7 chords just by removing one finger, you're actually adding another note. Same deal with a minor chord. So A minor, where your pinky is on the 7th fret, the D string. Get that up. Now we have a minor 7. Again, beautiful thing about a bar chord, maybe if you don't know minor 7 chords, you can start to kind of add 12 new chords to your repertoire by just doing one move, right? So you learn the minor chord shape, which this is an A minor chord, but this is really the minor bar chord shape, which you can put on any of 12 notes. A minor 7 chord, right? You can play it like this. Some people play like this, where they use the ring finger to bar, which is a cool transition you can make to the C. So I'm kind of inflecting in different ways from that minor 7 bar chord. I think a minor 7 bar chord is actually the easiest bar chord you can do, because if you just hold down the 4 highest strings on any fret, that's a minor 7 chord. So maybe if you really just want control to using one finger to bar multiple strings, just do that thing where, again, remember, use your thumb to pinch through the fretboard until you can get good tone from all 4 of those strings. You can arpeggiate them, play them one at a time. Okay? You can use your middle finger to kind of double up to really kind of get 2 fingers and 1 thumb, just totally powering through that. Patrick, thank you. My head is exploding. Excellent. Patrick, that's what we're here for. We want your head to explode. All these different things. Bar chords are not just this one shape. We can put them on anywhere, right? To kind of get little pieces of bar chords. Because technically, I think if you're holding down 2 strings, that is a bar chord. Now, even though a chord is technically 3 different notes being played, I will allow you to call the 5th fret and the B and E string together a bar chord. This would be kind of like a power chord, bar chord. It's all about just, especially if you're like a solo guitar player, singer, songwriter, acoustic guitar is your thing, you want to be able to find different ways to accompany yourself, and getting a little more familiar with bar chords are the way to do it. Dyads are not chords. Oh my God, Sean, you rebel. Yeah, you know what? I'm calling dyads chords. I think the old way is a little bit antiquated of saying that power chords aren't chords. Power chords aren't chords because it has 2 notes. Like I can play 3 strings. That's not a chord. Sounds like a chord, even though it's a dyad. Whatever. You know? Come at me, bro. What are you going to do about it? These are the new chords. This is the new way. That's why you follow Sean Daniel on Guitar Control. Is to learn these secrets. Guitar secrets. Isn't that funny? Like, on YouTube, like, unlock the secrets of guitar. The secret chord that will make you awesome. This pentatonic secret. The secret blues note. These are really secrets. Enough with the secrets. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, so this guy, I can listen to theory all day. It's awesome how small changes can add so much flavor to a song. Or the stitch method. Similar thing. Yeah, that's why music theory is great. And everybody should kind of dabble in music theory because you never know what might stick. That was my own experience. I didn't know anything about music theory. I played guitar for like 10 years without understanding music theory at all. Then I finally started getting into it, and without practicing any differently, I got so much better just because I understood so much. So let's open it up to the QA now that we're here. Let's see here. Are you aware of Fish, Baker's Dozen? The time is ripe for a Fish cover. Sample in a jar with Alia. I've heard Fish is some kind of weird band. Is that right? Am I right about this? Fish? Am I saying this right? I don't know. I'm not really familiar with their music because I don't have unlimited amounts of time to listen to music, even this one song. After the first few sentences, music theory starts to sound like Charlie Brown's Parents, but I really want to learn it. You'll get there, man. You will get there. Pretty sure it's Ben and Jerry's flavor. Yeah, Fish, right? It's like a multicolored Ben and Jerry's flavor. You don't have to listen to the song more than once to cover it. Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you've seen any of the covers I've done, a lot of those are the second time I'm hearing it and playing it while I'm doing it. How long does the average lesson video take from shooting to publishing? Okay, so that's a little bit different depending on the channel. Like Guitar Control, I'll do lessons for them in bundles. So I try to get them, like we'll do maybe like 10 at a time. and I might just kind of like send them a couple at a time. And then they have a very good schedule because Guitar Control is like a legit company. I'll answer that in a sec. Yeah, so Guitar Control is like a pretty legit company that like does things the right way, and they have like a schedule, and they're very professional. Whereas me, like on my channel, it's like seat of my pants. Even though I upload every single day, just like Guitar Control does, which is why these are like two cool channels to kind of follow. I'm kind of doing things at like, you know, the stroke of midnight. So I think another question was like, how many videos do I usually have like in the can, so to speak? Generally 0. It's kind of like a mad dash every day to get one up. Now, right now, I kind of have a few because that Jada girl I was working with, we did like 8 of them before she left. So I've got those. I'll kind of like go over stuff like that. Somebody asked how I got working with Guitar Control and does it help or detract from my channel. So Guitar Control approached me about doing lessons for him, and I thought it was a good thing because even though a lot of the topics that we both cover are similar, there's just so many different ways to approach it that I think it's only a good thing, and more exposure for both of us to kind of have a partnership with each other. I think the YouTubers out there who are like, oh, I don't want to like collaborate or help another channel in the same vein because, you know, like it's not like viewers can only pick one guitar channel to follow. You know, it's kind of stupid. The more the merrier. You know, this channel's awesome. It's got a bunch of other like fantastic teachers that I love to watch. All really cool people. Yeah, Stephanie. Oh my gosh, Stephanie's so good at guitar, right? Like I'll put her up on live feed or whatever, and she'll just be just like shredding out of control, and I'm like, I can't even Stephanie. Yeah, Stephanie's like a beast. Yeah, they're all awesome teachers. How does a contrarian end up at a Shawn Mendes concert? Okay, so I was at a Shawn Mendes concert last week because my dearly beloved student / friend, Andrea, who you've seen, awesome singer, awesome person in general, her family ended up getting tickets to Shawn Mendes, and they got me a ticket too. So I ended up at a Shawn Mendes meet and greet, which is pretty legendary because I walked up to him and I'm like, "What's up, Charlie Puth?" And like shook his hand, and he was like, "Huh?" And then I slapped him on the back. I was like, "Just playing, man," which was kind of. I felt like it was kind of disappointing for Shawn Mendes because I was literally probably like the only guy that he saw in the entire meet and greet. It was all like, you know, junior high girls. So he probably saw me and was like finally like a bro. And then I totally just kind of like dissed him by calling him Charlie Puth. That's how I ended up at a Shawn Mendes concert. But yeah, same thing with Disney World. If you ever see me, a very staunch contrarian doing something popular, like going to Disney World, it's most likely somebody has made me go, right? That always happens. Yeah, happens all the time, right? Very common story. Let's see what else. Somebody had another question. Go out to the movies or Netflix and chill? You know, I don't really go out to movies a lot. Probably Netflix. I guess Netflix is good. Let's see what else we got here. How do you find so many talented singers to do covers with? Students, or do you have every girl you meet do covers and only post the good ones? You know, I've just been lucky, man. Like a lot of them have been students of mine, and they're talking about covers that I post on the internet. And I know like this awesome. I should get some of those girls on this channel too, because that would be like a cool thing to do. But well, Kindra's been on this channel. If you go through the live feeds, check out me and Kindred. In fact, I think that was actually the best live feed that I've done. Was the one that me and Kindred did on Guitar Control. So if you've never seen that, scroll back through the videos on this channel because it's pretty interesting, which it always is with Kindred. What is the best concert I've ever been to, right? Man, Muse. I have like really good tickets for a Muse concert, and it was like fantastic. Like nothing really compares to that. I've seen Muse a few times, but the one where I was like kind of right up near the stage was like pretty amazing. Have you ever sang a song for anyone? Of course I've sang a song for several people. I mean, that's why we do this, right? That's why you learn to play guitar, so you can kind of like sing. Doesn't matter how well you do it. Once you start singing songs and being able to do that for maybe a person you want to try to impress, that's a game changer for sure, right? Have you ever written a song for a girl and sang it to her? Of course I have. These are fairly obvious questions. I used to do that a lot more. In fact, I've sang breakup songs to a girl. That was ridiculous. Anyways, do you do any covers of Tool songs? Man, you know, so This one girl I worked with, Farron, who was a huge Tool fan. We started trying to get a Tool one together, but then she went and moved. So whenever Farron comes back, we're definitely doing a Tool song. Again, acoustic Tool is a little bit of a challenge, I gotta be honest, but it's something that I'm totally up for. And now that you mention it, I'm gonna try my best to knock out a Tool acoustic cover at some point in the very near future. I'm not sure which one though, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I played guitar for some neighbors the other day and got applause and compliments. That was nice. Must be from watching so many Sean Daniel videos. My man, congratulations, dude. That's like a big step. The first time you like actually like play for people, that can be like daunting, like nerves and stuff. So congratulations, man. Any tips on E minor 7 chord ringing clearly? Struggling with that one right now. Well, the easiest one is E minor 7. Just hold on the 2nd fret on the A string. Get that sucker clear. Beautiful. Now I think you might be meaning more like this. E minor 7, where it's like 7A, 9D, 7G, 8B, 7E. So really the thing you gotta do is the 4-finger chord. Is this the one you're talking about? I think, right here? Or even like this one? I don't know. So the thing you gotta do is diagnose where the issue is first. Best way to do that? Play them one note at a time. You should always do this whenever you're thinking about bar chords and it's not maybe sounding right. Diagnose what string is giving you the most difficulty. So maybe if it's like this, it's like, okay, what is it? There, it's the G string, right? So really just focus on just playing that G string all by itself, right? 46 and 2 would be the easiest on acoustic. Okay, yeah, God, 46 and 2, what an awesome song, right? God, I love Tool so much. So, this one right here, this is the E minor 7 you're thinking about. Really just forget about the rest of your form and just play the G string or whatever string it is bothering you until you can get that clean. And then readdress the other ones, because I think it's best to work on the thing that's giving you the most trouble, isolate it till you get that, and then find a way to have your other fingers kind of help out. Again, you know, it's daunting at first, but just keep doing it and you got it, man. It seems like a lot of people dislike Nickelback. You know what's funny? My brother, the great Paul Daniel, was just at a Nickelback concert last night. Now, okay, so my thoughts on why people dislike Nickelback. I mean, I think a lot of it is Chad Kroeger's hair and jealousy. Probably some combination of the two. Actually, I think his hairstyle is better now, right? Back in the day, it was like those beautiful, and jealousy of Chad Kroeger's hair. Right, that's got to be it, right? I don't know, whatever. I never hated on Nickelback. I think they get an extreme amount of hate, and it kind of seems like they have like a good sense of humor about it. But yeah, I mean they're like pop rock songs, and they're successful. So of course, like heavy guitar players. So of course, musicians with taste are gonna hate on them because they kind of rose to the top. I got nothing against Nickelback. Again, it's not music I really listen to. It's not my style. But if not Nickelback, it would have been somebody else. You know what I mean? It would have been like Matchbox 20. or something. Maybe someone can think of a better band for that. So yeah, Nickelback has played their role very well, and this is kind of how it works. Let's see. Okay, what was this? I think you should do a cover video where you play all the instruments and cut to you playing them as the song goes on, sort of like Josh Turner, see Emily play cover. Josh Turner's awesome, right? I haven't seen the one you're talking about, but I do subscribe to Josh Turner. He's pretty amazing, right? Sorry, this E minor 7, this guy right here. All right. Foo Fighters or Nirvana? God, that's Foo Fighters, I guess. All right, so this E minor 7, right? So this is open, 2, 2, open, 3, 3. Same deal applies, right? Diagnose where the problem is coming from. Maybe it's that G string. You know, if that's it, try to get that middle finger up until you can hear that G string and then work on the other chord. Now maybe until you get that, take your middle finger off, play it like that, okay? Yeah, so if it's a G string that's giving you a hard time, get that middle finger out of there, right? Now what you're doing is you're playing the same chord, but you're playing it with an open D string, which D is in that anyways, right? So we've kind of got an open E minor 7 until you can kind of fit that middle finger in there and do that. Okay, so hopefully that'll help. Yes to G. Why go vegan? Yeah, so what, vegan a few months ago. I think if you all track the timeline of exactly when the veganism started around April 1st, you might be able to venture a guess why I went vegan. And also but why I stayed vegan is a different story. Because I just feel better. Again, the veganism stuff, I don't really promote that. I don't know. I'm definitely not one of those guys who's like, oh, everybody go vegan, blah, blah, blah. It's not a political thing. I tried it. I felt better. It was cool for me. That was awesome. Yeah, it works great for me. I would absolutely never push it on anybody else. I would encourage anybody who's interested to try it, give it a shot, see how they feel. It worked for me. I'm sticking with it. It's cool, you know? That's what I try. The vegan YouTubers are evil. Yeah, right? Yoga's great, man. Everybody should try yoga. It's all about being healthy. You know, once you go vegan and become a yogi, your bar chords will get a lot better. That's a guarantee. From Sean Daniel and Guitar Control. Yeah, see, you can put it together. Yoda? Yeah, Yoda's the man, right? I was at Disney World yesterday, and it just kind of warmed my heart to see all the positive Star Wars experiences out there. See, this guy connects the dots. He knows what's up, right? Same with, like, you know, bar chords help you connect the dots of the fretboard. Am I right? You just learn this one shape, and you can play any single chord in a key just by moving that around, right? Rabia Masad from Anderton's lost a ton of weight. Oh, he's vegan too? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Rabia is another shredder, incredible player. Just a beast, you know? And that's like, let's take a second and just applaud YouTube at just being like such a cool musical community. Because there's so many great players out there. I'm ecstatic that everybody's kind of getting together and kind of doing their thing. Rabia's a good teacher. His musicum course helped me get started. Very cool. Yeah, the YouTube guitar community is awesome, right? Let's give it up. This guy wants a fish cover. Sample. All right. In all honesty, I have heard Sample in a Jar. That is one of the better ones. I still think Horn is probably my favorite. It's just there's not enough lyrics to really do a proper cover. So I don't know about that. You know, I think I should actually loan one of the singers to Ian for the fish cover. We'll see how it goes. But, I don't know. We'll see. And I definitely got to get some singers on this Guitar Control channel. Because we need to kind of spread the word, spread the knowledge, right? Before the Baker's Dozen is over. Baker's Dozen is that another fish song? Not really sure what that is. YouTube has replaced TV watching for me, and my feed is mostly guitar stuff, right? How cool is that? I mean, you got awesome channels posting every day. Like Guitar Control posts something like literally every day. They do live stuff. Bring Kindred back, have her make smoothie. Yeah, I think she's coming over tomorrow, I think. We'll get her back on. Definitely, like I said, you gotta check out the live feed, the Sean and Kindred live feed on the Guitar Control channel here. I just go scroll down. I think it was probably late April, maybe. It's a solid watch, for sure. You'll learn a lot. Go on a Guitar Control binge. Like TV sucks. Yeah, I kind of stopped watching TV too. YouTube is really just kind of like my go-to entertainment platform nowadays. Especially because of like the cool kind of like bite-sized videos you can watch for like 4 or 5 minutes, learn something. It's the best. Just about, yeah. How about that? See, you're kind of, again, these guys connecting the dots. I love it. So let's recap. Let's recap what we learned about bar chords today, everybody. This one shape. The most thing. What was my GPA? 3.9? Yeah, something like that. I didn't quite pull off a 4. I didn't really care enough to pull off a 4. It was like 3.9. I was a sound engineer for 30 years and never played a guitar until you two let me learn at my own pace. So there you go. Patrick, welcome to the contrarian. Yeah, it was too cool to get a 4.0. I was like, no, I'll settle for a 3.9. Absolutely. Something. I'd have to go check the transcripts. Now, college was a little bit different. College was more like a 3.1, I think. Priorities changed slightly in college from high school. But anyways, recap. Bar chords are probably the coolest things you've ever done in life. I mean, that's true for me, personally. You did the double look, the look and look away. Yeah. All right. A major bar chord. A minor bar chord. A minor 7 bar chord. A 7 bar chord. Using different chord voicings underneath this bar umbrella that you started. Using different modes, like the Phrygian. all because of this beautiful bar invention, which is really kind of like the huge advantage we have over any other instrument. You can't bar, there aren't piano bar chords unless you just slam them down, you know, etc. Violin bar chords don't really work because it's kind of like, you know, over. Anyways, I'm just going to stop talking because this is the part. This is the part of the live feed where I just kind of start just blabbering, which is definitely my cue to wrap it up. So everybody, love you all for joining. It's good talking to you, as always. And I'll probably see you next week. Check out all the other guitar control videos in the meantime. You played cello for 6 years in school. That's awesome, right? Thanks so much for your time. Hey, thank you guys for commenting. Love all the comments. And any other comments you have of maybe future videos, leave them in the comment section here. Guitar Control will get to them. They will relay them to me, and then we're going to make it happen. So until next time, see you guys.